What's up, everyone? Daddy Robux here, and today we are continuing our playthrough of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And so far, the party has completed a couple of odd jobs that really kind of just introduce them to the city of Waterdeep and put a little bit of coin in their pockets. Because of these first couple jobs that they had received, eventually they were hired by Volothamp Gadarm, and he kind of he was looking for this friend of his who had went missing, and he wanted to charge the party to go and look for him. And after doing so, the party learned that Volo didn't have the money he had originally agreed to. So in exchange, he gave them a deed to a property on Trollskull Alley. And after examining the property, which was an old tavern, the party seemed excited and ready to take this as their home base or to try and sell it. I don't think we really ever agreed, but on what the end goal was for Trollskull Manor. But they did agree that fine, we will take this property and we will do stuff with it. And then after kind of moving into their new place and meeting with all their neighbors, and meeting Mert, their contact through the Harpers. That's kind of where we ended the session. Mert gave the party a quick job just to kind of show their commitment to join the Harpers. They were tasked with finding a talking horse, and at the end of the session, we had kind of hand waved. You guys had found Maxine, the talking horse. You guys had managed to, retrieve the information that was required, and then we just hand waved the rest because we were running out of time for the session. But you've already given that information back to Mert. He thanked you all for your time and effort, and then everybody returned back to Trollskull Manor to rest for the night because it was quite late. And that's what we're going to be picking up today, right? It's early morning. You guys are all in Trollskull Manor, sleeping. And just for I guess my own sake, so that I know where everybody is within the manor, what would you guys be doing? Like I said, it's very, very early. Sun has just came up. What is everybody doing as they prepare for the day?
I guess I'll start. Phoebus will be looking out of the window of the sort of the tower that he's made his sort of bedroom, as it were, to try and greet the sun, stretch out a little bit, clean his stuff up, and he'll head downstairs and look for some breakfast.
Okay.
He just praise the sun in the morning.
Anyone else? What are you doing first thing in the morning? What would your character do when they just wake up?
Rub ash on myself so I turn gray instead of my brown hair color.
Alrighty. Anyone else?
It's going to be waking up in the library and looking at any old decrepit books or moldy books that might be lying around and trying to see if there's anything he can read at all in there.
Okay.
Banal, probably, assuming we don't have food, is going to wander around the neighborhood to buy things for breakfast.
Okay.
And Darnock would just get up out of one of the corners he slept in and dust himself off, brush off his hat, and just wait for everyone else.
What about Jerry? What's Jerry doing?
What? Oh, he's probably still asleep.
Okay, excellent. So everybody's kind of lazily going about preparing for the day. And as you guys are kind of idling through the manor, the windows suddenly rattle as a roar of an explosion fills Troll Skull Alley. There is a boom and a deafening sound, and you guys can see. Hey, Kilter, thanks for the resub. Appreciate it. You can see that when you look out the windows, there's charred bodies and anguished screams are flying through the air. There's a thick cloud of acrid smoke billowing outwards from the blast, and it seems that this explosion has happened just outside your door. How do you guys react?
Huh? Who's that?
What?
So Phoebus will rush downstairs.
No, I don't want to
medicine kit or his herbalism kit with him as he rushes down to try and help.
Okay.
Assuming this happened like before I went shopping, I just
say
myself to the ground.
Okay, cool. All right.
Tuit is going to run over to a window on the 3rd floor and kind of try and get a vantage point, see what he can see.
Looking out into the street, you can see there is a big blackened patch, and much of your vision is obscured by all the dust and debris that's been thrown into the air.
And I suppose I will run downstairs and try to get on the street level.
And Darnock will slowly walk outside.
It's supposed to just say hand up.
Well, this isn't what I meant by Ash, but I'm going out there too.
I'm going to go and check out on Jerry since he was still sleeping.
I do believe Jerry is awake and on his feet, although maybe a little disoriented.
I guess I'll run to the window, and once I see people looking out.
Yeah. So at this point, like, everybody from the neighborhood is kind of crowding into the street and just kind of looking around at the carnage that has unfolded. People are coming out from the houses and shops to survey the devastation, and it doesn't look like anything has caught fire, but looking around, you can see that there are clearly just shy of a dozen corpses charred and bleeding in the middle of the street, and a lot of people are looking onwards in horror. There's an elderly woman sitting nearest to where the epicenter of the explosion was, and she's kind of got her hand covering her mouth, and her face is pale and eyes are wide. You can see a lot of people are kind of crowding around. They're talking in hushed whispers. What happened? What's going on? You can see that there are many different people that are dead here. An elderly female human, 2 cloaked male humans. There's two more female humans, along with a male half-elf dressed in plain clothes. At least they look like plain clothes for whatever has survived. There's a male gnome wearing a burned cloak and with a dagger in his hand. And there's also 2 female halflings that are carrying broken and battered instruments that are pretty much splinters and rubble in the ground here.
Does this look like an explosion or like a spell?
Well, it's definitely an explosion. As far as if it was a spell or something mechanical, I mean, you're going to have to do some kind of check. I guess Arcana to determine if magic was used, investigation to see if it was something otherwise.
I guess, is it like an area that's like clearly the center of whatever this was?
Yes, you can see that there seems to be one spot where everything else radiates out from.
I'll point that out to the party. Like what's at the center is.
Well, nothing is at the center. It's just the oh god, the radius here is like this huge blackened circle, and then obviously like looking from the outside in, you can locate the center, and there really isn't anything. There's a corpse somewhat nearby, but I mean there's corpses everywhere. That's not entirely unusual.
I guess I'll point that out to the rest of the party and say that seems most unusual.
It's a little bit of an understatement, isn't it?
This is no moment to seek what caused this. Let's treat the injured people.
Yeah,
And
Phoebus
I'm fully
immediately
devoting
runs.
myself.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm fully devoting myself to help Phoebus because I have like zero knowledge on medicine.
Okay, so Phoebus dives in and starts trying to help the injured, and Vanelde is going to help. What about the rest of you? I know Jerry was kind of examining the area. Anybody else?
Darnock will help the injured.
Jerry, what's your passive perception? Isn't it like crazy high?
Yeah, it is. Let me look it up. I believe it's like 18 or 19.
Okay, all right.
Passive is 17. Sorry.
And that's perception, not investigation.
Yes,
Yeah.
investigation is 20. Perception is 17.
As you're standing here, all right, you see there's a couple people that kind of stand out in the crowd. You notice that Fala is here, and the party's already familiar with Fala, so you recognize them immediately. There's also the elderly woman that I had described earlier, who's kind of clutching her hand over her mouth in horror, and she looks very, very pale and sick. But then there's also you particularly notice, Jerry. There is a young boy. He's kind of standing off to the side of the crowd, and he's looking towards all the devastation and the corpses. He's wide-eyed. It looks like he's in shock. But you distinctly see that he has one hand tucked under his shirt, and it looks like he's got something there.
Is there anyone in the party near?
Let's say Lothar is near you.
I'm gonna point him out.
I'm gonna head over to him.
I'll keep Overwatch while you go take a look and see if there's anyone else that guy the boy tries to interact with or anything else like that.
No,
not directly walk to him, but flank from behind.
Okay, you gotta creep up behind this poor kid. Okay, so the kid. Let's just pretend, right? I don't think it's even that big of a stretch of the imagination. There's this huge display going on in the middle of the road. The kid literally just witnessed a bunch of people get murdered, including other children. And so he's kind of in shock. So he doesn't recognize you walking up behind him. And then what do?
Get relatively close as I can and just start listening in and watching his movements. He
is not moving. He's just standing there, hand under his shirt. His other arm is just kind of hanging slack at his side, and he's staring at all of this.
I'm gonna just keep my main focus on him, but glance at the rest of the crowd to see if anyone's doing anything out of the ordinary for what was the situation.
Okay. No, nobody else is doing. I mean, all of the reactions that you see are, very typical. People whispering to each other. You see some people that are just kind of curious and have this morbid what's going on? There's something exciting in the road. And then you see other people which are crying and visibly shaken by the gratuitous loss of life here in the middle of this busy street.
So if Tuit saw Jerry point out the kid and
sure.
Yeah, so he's a young fellow. He'll kind of remove anything that's shielding him, make himself look nice and approachable, and kind of gently walk up to the kid and say, "Hey, buddy, are you all right? You seem kind of scared."
He just kind of looks up at you and he shakes his head no ever so slightly.
Oh, what? I mean, this is really, really horrible. But um, is there anything else wrong, or what? What's going on, man? You can talk to me.
Uh, I was playing with my friends, and they ran up ahead, and then there was this boom, and he kind of points over at the two halfling children, their corpses laying there in the middle of the kind of the epicenter.
Oh, oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. You shouldn't look at this. And I try to kind of guide him to look in a different direction. And I say, uh, what did you see? Did you see anything? What might have caused it?
Uh, after the boom, I ducked behind a rain barrel. I I crouched down real low, and I had my hands over my ears, and then I felt something on my hair.
What'd you feel?
Well, it was water from the barrel. Something plopped in there. And then when I looked, and he pulls his hand out from under his shirt, and you see he's holding a, it's like a silver chain, but the clasp is broken. And you can see in this chain there are several nooks that looks like they would hold a stone of some kind. Many of them are empty, but there are two that have these small reddish orbs kind of sitting in it. And he holds it up. He said, I think someone dropped it from up there. And he points to the roof of the building he's standing near.
Uh, do I recognize any of this? Does it seem magical to me in any way?
It certainly looks exquisite. I mean, if you'd like to do another Arcana check, you can see if you can, just recognize it for what it is. No, you have no clue. You're gonna start heading up to the roof. Okay. How are you gonna get up to the roof?
With these crazy ninja minotaur skills.
Right. Exactly that. Mm-hmm.
Wait, do you even have like feet?
He's got
Don't
hoofs.
you have like the same as horses? Yeah.
Or goats.
I guess goats can climb well, but
Extremely well.
yeah.
So Tuit is gonna say, hey, buddy, I'm gonna try and find out what happened here and who hurt your friends, but I think I'm gonna need that chain so I can help investigate exactly what happened. Do you mind handing it over to me?
But it's mine.
Yeah, but it might help me find out who did this to your friends.
You can roll a persuasion check if you'd like. Okay. He looks at you for a moment, and then he just holds out his hand with the chain.
Thanks, man. Listen, I think it might be best if you headed on home. This place isn't safe for children, and we'll do our best to find out what happened. And I'll check in on you. Where do you live?
I live in Troll Skull Alley, just down there. And he points to the west. My name is Martin Trek.
Hi, Martin. I'm Tuit. Let's let's head on home.
Okay. And he holds out his hand like he wants you to walk him.
Sure, I'll start walking him, and I'll kind of try and catch Jerry's glance. I imagine he's been watching this interaction, and
Yeah,
kinda-
and just like generally watching like the rooftops or whatever alleys I could see to like see if people are trying to like slink away or like run across the rooftops or something, since we've got a pretty good view out of the top of the tower. But it was probably too late given I was sleeping when whatever happened.
Yeah, the culprit is long gone.
I would assume so. Unless the kid did it, we should put him on trial.
Yeah! Bring that little bastard back here.
So when I get him to his front door, I'll kind of wish him well and tell him, Martin, I'll come and check in on you, and I'll let you know if we figure out anything about what happened to your friends. But you should go find your parents now and find comfort in them.
Okay, he nods and he runs in the house.
And then I'll jog back to the rest of the folks and tell them what little Martin told me, and kind of hold out the chain and ask, does anybody recognize what this might be? Or anyone have any ideas for where maybe we can find out what this is?
Are there any injured people around, like that Phoebus is treating?
I will say there were very few. Most of the people that were caught in the blast died. So there's only a couple people. One would be that the elderly woman, as she sits here and she's kneeling at the edge of the blast. As you walk around, you realize she's not kneeling because she's like shocked or exhausted. She's kneeling because she's injured her leg, and you can see a slowly growing pool of blood kind of seeping out from under her knees.
Do it. No, it's not time to see jewelry. We have to get this lady safe first. I'm guessing I have like a pot of water or something where I'm cleaning something for Phoebus to use.
Sure.
Trying to be useful.
So Phoebus, how are you going to treat the woman's injuries?
So I am. I mean, this is pretty serious. So I'm actually going to use. I'm not going to use a spell slot, but I'm going to use my healing hands. So I'm going to give her 2 hit points.
Okay. All right. So as you reach out, and what does your healing hands look like? I don't think you've ever established that in game.
No. So what it looks like is that I sort of move over and I gently just sort of reach out with my hands, and as my hands get closer to the wound, very lightly, there seems to be a soft, warm glow emanating from the palm of my hand, and also my eyes start lighting up with a slightly more vibrant silver than usual. As I pull my hand away, the injury seems to have been healed somewhat, but it's a very calming and warm sensation that runs over as the healing hands works.
Okay. She reaches out and grabs you by the shoulder. Says, Thank you. Will you catch who did this?
If we find anything, we'll certainly try.
I saw it.
Really?
I was
What did you
here.
see?
Well, I'll tell you. It was not a man. It was more like a puppet, shaped like a man. It moved very strange, and it bent at very odd angles. It was like a marionette without strings. It was on the rooftop, and it hurled something into the crowd below that caused the explosion. I saw those halflings burned alive. I saw them. And she starts crying again. Oh no! It's so horrible! Ooh, please console me.
I'm going to try and comfort her. I'm going to try and comfort her again. And
okay.
Please, did you see Did you see which way the creature went?
She just shakes her head. No, I was knocked back by the blast, and I fell, and I hurt my leg.
Okay, just here, and I'll kind of lead her over to somewhere to one side where she can sit down and rest. So you just rest up. We're gonna have a look around, see if there's any more people that need help, and we're gonna see if we can find who was responsible for this.
As this conversation is happening, Fala comes running up from the crowd. Darnock, Darnock, please.
Yes, how can I help you?
Are you guys gonna find who did this?
I believe so.
I believe so.
Sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's something we could do.
You have to. Look at what they've done.
Yes, it does look tragic. I'm sure we'll look into it and see if we can help find out whoever did this.
Well, you have to look for a cloaked man, and Fala points down at the two corpses that are wearing the cloaks. I was watering plants in the greenhouse on the second floor of my shop when the blast blew out some of my windows. Lucky I wasn't injured, but through the smoke, I saw a cloaked man like that one take something from the body of a dead gnome and then start limping away. He was badly burned and cast glances over his shoulder, like he was afraid he was being followed. He was headed toward the bent nail.
The bent nail, you said?
Yeah.
Where would that be at?
That... I'm gonna put you guys back on your Troll Skull Alley map.
Was the dwarf in the center of the blast? Or the gnome, sorry.
Why, yes, actually. It does look like the gnome was in the center of the blast. The bent nail from just outside Troll Skull Manor is down the road to the east.
Okay.
Before the authorities show up, would we be able to go through the gnome's belongings?
Yes. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. Or a perception check, I'm sorry. Either or.
Passive is 20.
Do we recognize him? We have met like two gnomes so far.
Okay. As you look at the dead gnome, you can see the only thing that looks important is he's got some dried brown substance on his boots. Closer inspection reveals this substance to be waste.
He doesn't have any like identifying marks from any of the gangs or whatever?
Nope. If he did, it's been burned away in the blast.
And like no wallet or any identification? I guess that's not a thing.
Well, if he did have any belongings, they're probably destroyed in the blast.
That's unfortunate. I guess I'd like to look through anyone else's stuff and see if they have things that may be of importance. Does the gnome like look like he was standing near anybody based on the blast pattern?
No, not really. However, as you examine the corpses, when you look at one of the dead humans with the cloak, you are able to unmistakably make out the black winged snake tattoo of the Zentarum on his right arm.
Okay. I'll tell the party later when we get somewhere more.
Yeah. As you're kind of you're standing looking at this tattoo on the corpse's arm, you hear a shout coming from over your shoulder. Away from there! That is official City Watch business! Move from the crime scene!
I'll move from the crime scene. And
Was I able to
disappear into the crowd.
Was I able to what now?
logically get on the rooftop?
I asked you, how would you do that?
The most logical route.
Well, then no. since you weren't able to tell me like how a what are you 400 pounds cow got up on top of the roof.
Well, if there was like stairs or something, I would have done that. But if the only way to get through there was like
To
run
climb.
into someone's house and go up that. Oh, that would make sense.
You can also like climb or the tower on or manor and like get out from the window, but
That is an idea. Go up the well. I don't know if his big ass will fit through the window.
that's actually.
I would like to imagine that he could not. He's just too big.
Knowing him, he'd make a bigger window.
I'm a very beefy boy.
He is. He's a chunker. Oh, where is the watch arrives?
How many of the city watch is here? How many people?
There's maybe a dozen people, and there you can see that there's several different groups here, right? There's an older gentleman, and this is the one who seems to be giving out the orders to the other watchmen. And he he's also the one that shouted at you to all evacuate the scene. Accompanying him is what appears to be a wizard or mage. And as he moves onto the scene, you can see that the first gentleman, the one who is in charge, is kind of yelling at the crowd, "The City Watch and the Watchful Order of Mages and Protectors are on the scene. We need all of you to evacuate the area so that we can examine it thoroughly. I would also ask that if anybody has found anything of interest to this investigation, that you hand it over willingly post haste. And also a reminder that withholding evidence knowingly is a crime on the code legal, and we will prosecute anybody who hinders this investigation."
I'll disappear back into the crowd.
Of course, Jerry goes, "Nope." Mm-mm. You see the elder mage kind of starts walking around, and he's got this cane that he's leaning on. And as he walks around the crime scene, he starts like poking at the corpses and looking down and writing thing. He goes over to the other gentleman, and you can see them whispering, and he's writing things down in a book. Hello.
Has any of the city guards like approached us at all, as we are like on the perimeter of the thing, to like keep us out?
Well, no. Yeah, they set up a perimeter, right? They forced everybody away from the crime scene, and unless you guys do something to approach them, they're content to just investigate on their own.
Oh, but what I mean is this perimeter is like a perimeter of like bodies,
of armed guards
standing there, or
yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to approach one of them like with my hands on the air, and I'm going to say that if they need information, I'm like willingly open to say what I saw.
The city guardsman, the older gentleman, he walks over. "Seth Cromley, you said you had information?"
Not the most valuable one, but I saw what happened 20 seconds after the explosion.
Yes. And tell me, who are you?
I'm Maneld.
Van Eld, yes. And he starts writing in his book. And how is it that you happened to be in the area at the time of the event?
We acquired this manor a part of days ago, and we were sleeping in, and the explosion wake up.
He turns and looks at Troll Skull Manor. This building. Who is we? Where are your co-owners?
I don't know. They got lost in the crowd, and I don't find them.
Well, hurry up and fetch them. I'd very much like to ask some questions.
I can try, but I mean, we all saw the same. You can just ask me.
Excuse me. I didn't believe that that was an open invitation for you to be disobedient. Go and fetch your co-owners so that we may ask them questions.
I'll step out and act like I fetched them. Like, I guess I know where they are, but I...
Well, yeah, they're. I mean, everybody's still... Nobody said that they left except Jerry. Jerry is actively avoiding talking to the guard.
Yeah, I'll, like, try to ignore them, like, as I don't know them, and, like, wander around.
I tried to say a little bit ago I was heading towards the broken nail.
And Darnock will be kind of around the corner watching everything, but trying to stay out of view as well.
Phoebus isn't exactly hiding or anything like that, but if there is anybody else that is injured, he's just trying to provide a little bit of support for them. I mean, he kind of stands out a bit with his bright white robes, but, you know.
Okay. So I guess, Van El, you're able to find Phoebus? And it looks like everybody else has booked it. It's the fuzz! Cheese it!
I don't know if I want to bring my friends willingly to get, like, questioned. I mean, if they want, I won't, like, stop them. And I want to ask to talk myself, but I won't force my friends to do it. So that's why I'm like...
So Phoebus says he's available, okay? You go to Phoebus and you say...
The City Watch wants to ask us some questions about what happened here.
Oh, yeah, okay then.
Are you not busy?
Are there people that require sort of immediate attention around me now?
No, remember, there are very few injured. Almost everybody who was hit by the blast is dead.
Cool. In that case,
cool.
I'm available, and I'll go over to where the watch.
I'll go back at him, like, waving my hands again. I found one. He's here.
So, you guys live here at the property that where the event took place. I'm hoping you have some insight as to what happened here.
I don't really know how much insight I might be able to bring. We'd only just woken up and were sort of gathering our things in the morning when we heard the explosion. We rushed out to see the aftermath of this explosion, and the first thing that I did was just run and try and see if there was anybody that needed any help. I recently worked as a healer in one of the temples in the city, so I thought my medical knowledge might come in handy. I did speak to a woman who mentioned that there was a strange creature on the roof. It seemed to be some sort of marionette, but without strings, moving very oddly, that seemed to throw something into the crowd, but then sort of vanished when the explosion happened.
A marionette without strings?
That's what she said, yes. I didn't see it myself, that's just what she told me.
That's interesting. That sounds a lot like the automatons that we sometimes see in the Day of Wonders parade. You said you work in the city. You must have seen them. What are they called? Nimble rights?
Assuming that I have seen them before, so yes. That
If you're native to the city, you would be very much familiar with the Waterdeep festivals and customs.
Okay, then yes. That sounds about right.
Very interesting. And who gave you this information?
There was an old woman who was injured by the blast that I'd helped. She seemed to be bleeding. She was over there last time I saw, and I kind of motioned over to in the direction that she was.
Okay.
Although she just seemed very scared.
He starts writing something down into his book, and as he does, he's kind of muttering to himself. And you know, it's like as he's writing, he's saying it out loud to kind of like cement it. But you hear him say, "Temple of Gond." Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Next question. So, do you know this man? And he points to the gnome corpse that seems to be at the epicenter of the blast.
Okay. Does he look familiar to me at all?
Absolutely not.
No, I'm afraid not.
Mm-hmm.
We are kinda new to the neighborhood. We don't know all the people here.
Yeah, we only acquired the property the day before yesterday.
Well,
no, it was yesterday, in fact.
He kind of narrows his eyes and he rubs his mustache as he looks at you. Well, that seems very strange, you see? And then he starts pointing with the tip of his quill. And he's like, you see here? And he kind of points to the two cloaked men. And then he points to the dead gnome. He says, you see, it looks like the gnome was running from armed pursuers. Namely, those two folks there. If you chase the direction he was running, and he kind of moves his quill like horizontally through the air, following the direction of the gnome, and then it stops right at the door of Trollskull Manor. So it appears that this fellow was trying to seek out you. Why would he do that if he didn't know you?
Well, this manor didn't have a lockout when we buy it. There might be some people that were staying in there before we buy it.
It's possible, or maybe he was looking for somewhere to hide. Maybe he thought he could sneak out somewhere onto the roof through the turret. Honestly, I wouldn't know. Like I said, we only acquired the property yesterday, so we don't really know anybody in the area. We've only recently spoken to a couple of the shopkeepers in the area.
Mm-hmm.
We have papers to prove it. We talked to magistrates. What is Colin Silverman?
Oh, no. I have no doubts of your legitimacy to ownership. Unfortunately, though, your establishment is now an active crime scene. I'm afraid that I'm going to have to close your business until the investigation is done. You're still welcome to reside here, but if there were any, and he kind of looks over the property and sees it's kind of run down, he's like, if you had any plans to renovate the tavern, I'm afraid that's going to have to wait.
As
Sure,
long as it's
I
needed.
understand.
What was that, Phoebus?
Sorry, sure, Phoebus says, yeah, sure, I understand.
Oh, and one more thing. I have no further questions for you, but should I require further assistance, I'm gonna have to ask you not to leave the city.
That makes sense. I mean, I intend to reside at the manor, so you will likely find us there if we're not out and about in the city.
I have never left the city in my life, so it's not going to change for a while.
All right. Excellent. Well, I have no further questions. How about you, Barnabas? And the wizard kind of walks over, and he looks at the two of you. He's got very opaque glasses on, so opaque it's almost impossible to think he would be able to see through it. But all the same, he seems to be sizing you up. No, I don't think I do have any questions. But, and he kind of waves his hand in front of your face, and then he kind of gives a little nod. He's like, "You'll be hearing from me shortly."
Of course. If there's any more questions that you have, or if there's anything that you think of that we can do to help, don't hesitate to ask us. This is our neighborhood now, so anything we can do to help.
No. That would introduce too many new variables into an already complex investigation. You are not constabulary or officials of Waterdeep, so we could not allow you to assist in the investigation. Yes.
People would just nod, yeah.
Okay, both of them seem to turn around. They go about, asking questions from the other witnesses, and you guys are free to go. Lothar, who's been slowly making his way down the alley towards the bent nail. What are you doing?
Slowly making my way down the alley to the bent nail.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let me pull up the notes for the bent nail. Skull Alley. Okay. As you approach the establishment, you see a small wooden sign above the shop's main door is bare except for a large bent nail sticking out of it. The front room contains displays of ornate wooden furniture as well as a selection of bows and crossbows. The wall behind the counter is lined with rows of finely carved wooden canes, quarterstaffs, shields, and more arrows than you have ever seen in your life. And as you stand there, a male half-elf approaches you. He's like, "What happened down the road? I see the smoke and I heard the explosion, but..."
Well, an explosion happened, and then someone moved down into the bent nails, from what I heard, so that's why I'm...
Someone down this way?
Someone in a dark cloak moved into this, I'm assuming this is a tavern?
The tavern? You mean the bent nail?
Yeah.
The place with the wooden furniture and all the crossbows and bows and arrows? He is a carpenter. It's okay. You're just a minotaur. He's like, well, no. All the commotion is up the road. There's only... I don't know.
Well, has anyone come in here in the past 5 minutes? Other than me, of course.
Well, no. I've been alone all day. But, shortly after the commotion, I did see someone duck towards the local Temple of Gond.
Temple of Gond, that sounds familiar. Okay. That's just all I needed, thank you. And then I start heading towards the Temple of Gond.
Because you know where that is?
I thought he pointed to it, I'm sorry.
Nah.
Well, I asked him where it is first.
He just points further off to the east. He's like, it's so far away. Maybe 30-minute walk from here. You might want to collect the rest of your party
Wait, if it's
first.
that far away, then how do you know he's going towards the Temple of Gond?
Well, there's nothing else of interest that way.
Or, I don't know, like maybe his house or something?
No, trust me, he's going to the temple. But it's so far, you might want to collect your comrades first, idiot.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or, I mean, you could totally walk there by yourself first. I mean, I'm cool.
Oh, I feel like that is a great idea. No, I'm gathering my party.
There you go. Wow, that is an original thought. I didn't learn a thing. Oh, man. I can't wait for this season. All right.
Well, what'd you learn?
Well, it looks like if we want to find a culprit, we got to go to a place called the Temple of Gond.
Okay. Is that it?
About it, yes. The shopkeeper of the Bent Nail said he saw some shady-looking fellow moving towards that way.
All right. So, does anyone know exactly where that is?
Well, it's a temple, and I look at Phoebus, like assuming he must know.
Well, Gond is a god of craftsmen. I was in a different temple in a different area of town. I think it was in the Temple of Kalimvor.
As a citizen of Waterdeep, is this a popular enough temple where I would know?
Oh, I mean, we could just
Waterdeep is a
this
huge
direction,
city. And also, you have directions. Like he said. The guy pretty much told you, just walk that way 30 minutes. Can't miss it.
Okay. We're going to follow this yellow brick road. Just hope we don't go the wrong way on said brick road.
Do I got you guys now? Toot toot.
Where did all Jerry go?
He's still hiding from the police.
Well, I mean, if I notice him like heading away, like I'll follow them. But I was just trying to make sure that I wasn't there for your question.
Yeah, because apparently Vaneld and Phoebus were all too content to get you involved with the law.
We didn't give names. Well, we kinda did. Yeah, we kinda did. They can search like the info on the manor.
Best part is, it's not tied to me, boys.
It's fine.
Okay, so you guys travel down the road, and eventually you make your way to the House of Inspired Hands, the local temple of Gond. And the House of Inspired Hands looks like a cross between a temple and like a smithery or like a workshop. The symbol of Gond, which is a toothed cog with 4 spokes, is displayed prominently on the window and above the door. And you see the silhouette of a humanoid shape perched on the rooftop. It extends an arm, releasing a tiny metal sparrow into the sky. The bird does a few loops in the air, then veers right towards you.
I'm going to tell the people, let me handle this. Or I guess I'll tell the rest of the party, let me handle this, and then ask them to wait outside.
No. I need you guys to roll initiative. Actually, here. I guess it helps if I put you on a map.
Ah, it's the Beholder.
Oh, where am I? I don't have a token.
You can just put one on the map. And while I set up.
So you could say this is like a wandering bird.
Hey, Ozzy, thank you for the resub, brother. Appreciate that. What? No. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if there's a token for this. If not, I'm just gonna have to put a token. Oh shit, there are. See? Little mechanical birds. Names mechanical birds, initial count 10, and fly speed 60, start 60 feet away from the characters. AC 15, on turn, it flies towards one party. Okay, so this bird, it says it starts 60 feet away from you. Damn, I'm good. And it also says 10. Okay, so let me paint the picture again because I got distracted setting things up. This thing is up on the roof, right? As you guys approach, it just opens its hand and this little bird comes flying out and it starts speeding towards you, right? And you know, it just doesn't really set a good tone for diplomacy. So anyway, Vanel, you get the first action. What would you like to do?
Well, since I'm kinda confused on the situation and Jerry just said like, let me handle this, I'm like confident that he's going to take like a good course of action, so I'm going to hold my action to basically attack something if he does with my
I
short
was
bow.
referencing the person in the shop, not us being attacked by a.
Yeah.
Well,
you walk up, you see a person on the shop, but then it doesn't matter because frickin' mechanical bird. All right, Darnock.
Going to dodge.
Do it.
Is the bird approaching us in an aggressive way?
It's coming so fast.
I am going to step away from the party and dodge as well.
And Jerry?
I'll put one right in the bird.
Okay, there you go. Yep, that's a hit.
Finish if it's above 80.
And that is a dead bird. So you, whereas the rest of the party just kind of looks really unsure with this tiny mechanical bird flying down towards you. Jerry confidently raises his short bow and slices the bird in half as the head of the arrow is almost as big as it is. The creature falls apart to the ground, little cogs and springs clattering on the stone. And as the creature is destroyed, you see the humanoid shape stands up and it withdraws into the attic through a hatch in the roof. So now it is gone and the bird is gone. I know, I'm so glad I took the time to set that up. But now you're standing in front of the temple and the man on the roof is gone as well.
Do we get an idea where he went?
Yeah, you saw him go into the temple through a hatch in the roof.
Oh, okay. I'll point the one of the party to like go around like to each.
I'll take the left side if someone wanna follow me, I guess.
Should we not try and stick together?
Yeah, I thought we
don't
stick together.
want him to get away.
Well,
It
Jerry's-
looks like one of them, and there's multiple ways probably to get out of.
I mean, we only saw one of them. We don't know if there are any more of them.
If we hear fighting, we'll run to the other, but I'd rather have eyes than them get away. We don't have time to...
Well, it went inside. Wouldn't it be best just to go inside instead of around?
Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea.
Oh, we could do 2 and 2 and 2 if you really want to split up, but I would think just going inside would probably be the best course of action, and Darnock will start walking towards
them. Phoebus will follow Darnock.
I will follow them.
Does anybody want to split off and look for an alternate exit? Entrance?
I'll do that.
Okay.
I trust Algieri.
You going alone?
If no one's following me, yeah.
Okay. So he's going to walk around, try to find another exit. While he does that, who was it? It was Darnock, Phoebus, Lothar. We're heading to the main entrance.
Tuit's with them as well.
Tuit's going to the main entrance, and then Jerry?
I'll go around the other side then. I'll try to be kind of quiet as I do. Like stick to shadows or something.
Okay, all right. So we have one going to the left, one going to the right, and then 4 to the main entrance. Just making sure that I understand. I'm not writing this out for any reason of importance. Don't be alarmed. Okay, there we go. Alright. So, let's do the guys that went in through the main entrance, the larger group. Inside the Temple of Gond, it is open and abuzz with activity. You can see the main hall of the temple holds 24 marble pedestals. Each one bears a prize-winning invention or a miniature model of some other extraordinary creation or wonder. As you walk through the hall, you can see some of the displays are as they catch your eye. You can see there's a 4-foot-tall working model of a clock tower that rings at the top of every hour, made of iron, bronze, and glass, with brass bells and delicate hands formed from solid gold. You can see a wooden flying machine with wings that flap when it becomes airborne, a miniature model of a mechanical dragon turtle that has a brass plate affixed to the pedal that reads "Big Belchy, sank in Deepwater Harbor on the Day of Wonders in 1363. You see a functional waking helmet equipped with small articulated metal arms and hands that gently slap the wearer awake after a certain time. And you also see a miniature model of a yellow submarine shaped like a manta ray with brass plate affixed to its pedal that says the Yellow Marpanoth, Lantanese submersible, launched in 1489 DR. So, and there are people all over, just kind of, some of them look like they could just be commoners that are kind of examining the things that are on display here. Others seem to be acolytes and priests. And as you guys kind of stand within this very crowded hustle and bustle, you are approached by a female dragonborn of bronze ancestry. And she looks around and she kind of claps her hands together and says, "Why, hello, travelers. How can I assist you?"
We were coming in to look around. You have so many wonderful things in here. And Darnock looks distracted by all the gadgetry.
Oh, yes. It is our purpose in life to create marvelous things, all in the name of Gond.
We saw something very interesting on our way in, actually.
Interesting?
A small, particular thing that had been created, a small bird, mechanical bird, actually flying through the air.
That's not very interesting. Small animals and creatures are some of the minor tinkers that we teach to new acolytes and children. They are quite common.
For the most part, I would probably agree. However, I've never seen one fly. Not a mechanical one, anyway.
They all fly. That's actually one of the first tests that they will take in order to become a tinker. Not only to make the bird that moves, but to make it fly.
Wow, okay.
Where did you see this bird? It's unusual that it was outside the temple.
Yeah, well, we were heading down the street, and we saw it in the saw somebody come out of a hatch in the roof and let it fly.
Ah, that would be Nim. A Nimblewright, gifted to us by a Lantanese wizard. Would you like to see him? He often sits in the attic.
Yes, if we could see them, that'd be really interesting.
Okay. She takes you and starts to lead you through the temple towards a spiral staircase that leads up to the attic. While you guys are talking with Valletta, I don't think I ever actually gave you her name, but let's just say I totes did because I'm a good GM. We're gonna say Jerry and Vanelde. You kind of walk around the building, okay? And you're gonna meet in the back wall, kind of like an alley that's secluded away from the main street. And on the back door, in the back, area of the building, you do find another access door.
It's like a personal room, or
you have no idea. There's no windows here that you could look into, and it's just a simple unmarked door.
What do you think, Jerry?
I think one of us should stay here. Don't let anyone out, and the other one should go in, see if they can meet up and find whoever it is inside.
You decide. You're the experienced one. What shall I do?
You. Do you want to go in or watch the door?
Well, I think your criteria is best, but okay, in a 3 and a 4 I go in. I can keep watch.
All right, I'll head in, I guess. No, I'll try to keep an eye out for whoever in the party. Let them know that we have the back door.
Okay. Sure. Let's say you're able to sneak in through the back and you wander through the halls and manage to avoid detection from any of the people that are here. After wandering for maybe 10 minutes, you catch the familiar sound of Darnok's voice, and you're able to seamlessly integrate into the group following Valletta.
Okay.
And then, being with the group, you're going to let them know that you have the back door covered.
Yes.
Because that's what you said you were going to do.
And then I'll discreetly ask them if they found whoever they're looking for. Or ask them if they found whoever it is.
We're going to talk to him now.
So she takes you up to a spiral staircase, and after traveling up, the 2 stories, you find that there is a access door, but it is closed, and there is a heavy padlock that is on the outside. It looks very new, and Valletta's brow furrows as she looks at it. Well, that's unusual.
What's unusual?
Well, Nim has locked the hatch to the attic. I do not know why he would have done this. I'm sorry, but if you'd like to speak with Nim, we might have to try and catch him on another day. I'm afraid I don't have a key.
Don't worry about it. I'm a locksmith. I could get this open in a jiffy.
Can you? Oh, why?
Yes,
by all
my
means, go
locksmith
ahead.
can. So I'm going to use my thieves' tools. Should I add any?
You can do it.
Holy shit! You want to take a guess at what the DC was?
20.
20. All right, so Jerry doesn't even break a sweat. He's like, oh yeah, and then immediately, effortlessly unlocks the thick padlock on the door.
I give her a wink and say, years of experience.
So she opens the hatch and ushers you all into the attic. And what you see is a small, slightly cluttered area. And the area, it has various bits of storage in it. But standing amidst all the items up here is a mechanical construct. It appears to be made mostly out of wood and what looks like it looks like it's made mostly out of wood and some kind of magical fibers, and it's a very thin and lithe kind of build. You can see it's wearing a tabard and a hat, almost giving it the appearance of like a swashbuckler. And as it stands in front of you, it kind of just tilts its head quizzically to the side.
Darnock mimics it.
I love you, Daddy Warbucks.
Toronto, gosh!
Nimble,
9 months. Hey, what's our baby's name?
As I hold my hand out.
He just kind of raises up his hand and wiggles his fingers in a gesture of greeting. Valletta kind of speaks up from her position in the attic. The Nimblewrights cannot speak, but Nim does understand the common tongue, and he communicates through a simple sign language. I can translate if you would like to speak with him.
Well, I'll be most helpful.
So, Nim, what was that bird that we saw you releasing earlier?
You see him beginning to make some simple signs and gestures, and after like a minute has passed, Valletta just kind of nodding her head as he does. She begins to speak. He said that he was practicing, and he wanted to greet you with his small mechanical friend.
I see. Actually, somebody I'd spoken to earlier said that they saw somebody that looked very similar to you, actually, up on the roofs a little further up the street in around Trollskull Alley. I can't imagine that there are too many Nimblewrights that sort of got out and about on their own, but did you happen to be up there? Did you see what happened?
You see his mechanical face kind of contorts an expression of fear and shock, and even though you don't understand the signs he's making, the intent is clear as he emphatically waves his hands from side to side. Valletta turns to all of you. What do you mean? What Nimblewright?
There was an incident further up the street, and when we asked a few people about it, some people had mentioned that they saw a creature that seemed to move, not quite like a man, possibly like a nimble-right up on the roof of one of the buildings. But then after the incident, it just kind of vanished.
She stopped listening to you as she's turned towards Nim and has started signing furiously. You can see she's got an angry expression on her face, and after a moment, Nim starts signing back to her. It seems like they're having some sort of an argument.
One thing to particularly note about it as well, I'll say to Valletta, the incident at hand, there was a very large explosion, and somebody said that they saw the Nimblewright drop something into the crowd just before it exploded.
Not just a harmless explosion either. People died.
And as we came down here, we saw what appeared to be Nim on the roof released a bird that flew towards us. So we thought we'd better come and investigate.
She continues to sign towards him. And as you continue to tell her about what happened outside Trollskull Manor, she seems to become even more furious. All the while, Nim seems to be increasingly frightened and scared. She stops signing for a moment, and she snaps her fingers, and she shouts down the spiral stairs. Acolytes! I require acolytes to attend to me now!
You want to fill us in with what was said.
Who wants a wondrous item? Someone will get something cool.
Alright, roll it. Let's see what we get. What was that, Jerry?
You want to fill us in with what was said.
So I had to donate. I appreciate it. So, she points, right? And she says, well, Nim has been a member of the temple here, and as such, we've been helping educate him in the fine arts of craftsmanship, and as he has learned to better serve God, gone through works of creation, he's become quite adept as an artificer. He practices making those mechanical birds, and I wholly believe he just intended to show it to you as he was proud. But it seems maybe teaching Nim was a mistake. As she says this, acolytes come upstairs, and you see them begin to move through the chamber. It looks like they're scooping things up and kind of tucking them under their arms. Nim drops to his knees. He puts both of his hands in the air in a begging motion. And you see she looks down her nose at him cold.
I'd like to see if she's like telling me the whole truth. It seems like something's missing.
You can insight check her, but she is not deceiving you. Don't even bother.
Okay.
It looks like something might have been used to create the chain thingy in this room.
No, not at all.
Is it truly necessary to take his things if you don't have 100% proof that he's the one behind it? I mean, these are creatures that are.
She holds up her hand, motioning for you to be quiet. He is not the one behind it. His creation is. You see, our friend Nim here, in his quest to learn more complex artifice, he seems to have created another Nimblewright. And he claims to have been lonely, even though that is ridiculous, Nim. And she's signing as she says this. You live with us. We are your friends and family. How could you be lonely? And you see him again, like making pleading motions as he tearfully watches the acolyte scooping up his tools and removing them from the room.
Does Nim happen to know where his creation might be, where it could be found?
she makes some more signs to him, and then eventually he signs some things back. And then she tells you, well, it seems that it is gone. It built the other Nimblewright, and then in its creation, and it was very confused and became terrified and fled over a month ago. And Nim claims to have not seen it since. But I know Nim to be a gentle soul. He would not be involved in this incident down the alley. But Nim is still responsible, and he must be punished.
Maybe if he can help us figure out where his creation is, then you can spare him.
He hops up to his feet and he starts nodding emphatically, and he starts he approaches one of the acolytes and he starts trying to take something from in their hands, one of the things that they've scooped up from around the room. The acolytes, kind of pull back instinctively, and they kind of strike at Nim to beat him back as there's kind of this tug of war over the object in the acolyte's hands.
Phoebus would approach and say, wait, if Nim's willing to help us, I mean, this thing that his creation did hurt a lot of people.
Nim is nodding his head emphatically, and once again he's pointing to the thing that the acolyte has in his hands.
Maybe this can help us track it down before it hurts somebody else.
And he points to you, and he points to the thing. He's nodding, and he's nodding.
Can we see what the thing is?
Yes, it looks very strange, and it makes 0 sense. But Nim starts signing to Valletta, and he's signing very quickly. But as she's receiving the message, she's translating to you. Nim, in addition to making the other Nimblewright, has been making other inventions. And this strange hooked umbrellaed device is a Nimblewright detector, and should be able to lead you in the direction of the other Nimblewright.
All right. I mean, this could be a huge help in trying to track down whoever's responsible. Would you allow us to take the device and use it to try and find it?
She waves her hand. It is no matter. And she kind of looks at Nim with a cold stare. All of his inventions were going to be destroyed anyway. And then he again drops to his knees and throws his hands in the air, pleading. And even though he cannot speak, you can practically hear the "No, please."
Ma'am, if you wouldn't mind, I'm kind of familiar with sins of the past. I wouldn't recommend destroying them, for you might create an enemy out of your friend. Just lock them away until we can get this all secured, and then just give them back. He hasn't really done anything wrong.
Yeah, except build a monster that killed like 10 people, but who cares about that?
Yes, on the topic of that monster. We at the House of Inspired Hands, we cannot abide such an abomination of creation to continue to wreak havoc on the poor populace. We would be willing to compensate you for your time and effort if you can dispose of this Nimblewright discreetly.
Absolutely. I only ask in return that you don't destroy this Nimblewright's inventions.
I cannot do that. I cannot agree to that. Nim has made a terrible mistake, and that mistake has cost people their lives. We would not dare harm Nim, as he is our friend and family, but we cannot allow his tinkering to continue.
I would disagree. I believe it was Nim's child that did everything, not him.
I don't think robots have children.
So let's just pretend it is for roleplay sake.
Well, she for roleplay sake, pretend. She looks at you and she's like, "Well, I appreciate your input, but your opinion will not be considered in this matter. This is a matter for the temple and for Gond."
Your rules and traditions are indeed your own. In terms of compensation, perhaps maybe you would aid us in. We've recently acquired a property not too far away from here. Perhaps the Temple of Gond might be able to do something to assist in its renovation, as way of compensation for us helping with this.
She strokes her bronze chin and she's like, well, I'll tell you what I can offer. Any renovations of that matter, you're going to have to need the guild's approval. We can assist you with gaining favor with the guilds, and we can give you coin to begin the repair process. Let's say, and she kind of, twiddles her claws in the air as she thinks, 500 gold pieces. But if, and only if, you destroy this other Nimblewright, if you just bring us proof of its destruction, and if you do not bring further shame upon this sacred home.
Phoebus will look to the rest of the party to see how they feel about this deal.
Well, we have Nim's assistance since his device. We don't know how to use it.
He kind of, gets up from the floor and he points very gingerly over. He kind of loops around you and he points down, and you can see there's like a big handle at the bottom, almost like a depressor on like a water hose.
Okay.
As you pull the trigger, nothing happens. It doesn't do anything.
Is it not doing anything because Nim's right here, or is it not doing anything because it's broken? As I looked at Nim, and then I looked to the bronze dragon for the signing.
Yeah. so Nim starts signing, and she translates. Well, it's not doing anything because it's not near you. Nim says that it's specifically programmed for Nimblewrights other than himself, and that when it comes within 500 feet, this, and she points the umbrella on the end, will begin to spin and whir and do all kinds of things.
I guess that's all I need to know about the device.
67. Damn it.
All right. Is there anything else you can tell us that would help Nim?
Nim just kind of shrugs his shoulders, and that's about it. He doesn't really know much else.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do, and we'll come back to you as soon as we have some more information.
Okay. So then, leaving the Temple of Gond, what do you do first? How do you plan to conduct the search for this Nimblewright?
Well, I think first we should go get a reward for finding the
Reward for finding the what?
The horse.
You guys already talked to Mert. Remember, we just moved past that. And there was no reward. that was your entry into the Harpers.
Above table, completely forget about Van Eld. Below table, well, let's go over here back to Troll Skull Manor and start using this dibbly wibbly umbrella do.
Dibbly wibbly. I mean, I guess we could just leave Van Eld here forever.
I can literally take watch like until the sun sets, but then I'm heading back.
Okay. Well, I guess they're dead. I'm going home.
I guess we get them and then we walk around the city, trying to see when the device.
Okay. And the city is massive, right? So it would take many hours to just kind of travel aimlessly from ward to ward, hoping to get a hit on it. Let's.
Oh, I know someone that can help.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Who would that be?
Johnny McNormal guy.
Yes,
Sure.
he disappeared.
You want to go try and talk to Johnny?
Yeah, let's go talk to Johnny.
All right. You let's just sum up. You visit all of Johnny's normal haunts and he is still mysteriously missing. You even go to Johnny's house to see if he's there and still not home.
If we have 10 minutes or so as we're walking or resting or something like that, can I ritual cast detect magic with the chain in my hand?
Yes. Yes, you can. Casting detect magic on the chain reveals a powerful aura of evocation magic.
What are you doing there?
I'm trying to sense what type of magic this is created out of, and I believe it's a very destructive type of magic. This is definitely the source of the explosion.
That thing can blow things up?
Oh? What are you getting from it?
I'm not sure. I definitely sensed some evocation magic, and from what I've read, evocation magic can certainly blow things up.
It's also used in healing. Most healing spells are evocation magic as well.
Oh, well,
I feel
maybe
like
if
that's
we
not
have
accurate.
some time, I can study it a bit and try and figure out which of the two it is.
Sure.
Put it on safe lock in the meantime. We don't want it to blow on ourselves, right?
I mean, maybe I can help too. I'm pretty adept at both types of magic.
Just don't trigger it by accident. That's what I mean.
You can. How could you help?
Maybe I can help investigate it, see if I can figure anything out. Like I said, I can use some damaging evocation magic as well as healing evocation magic. So I have a little bit of knowledge of it.
If you would like to try and determine what the necklace does or is or whatever, could always tune to it.
Could.
I was planning on studying it when we had a chance. Unless you have another way besides studying it, I think, from what I've read, there's some magic that can help you learn the properties of items such as this. But other than that, I think we just are going to need to study it. And I certainly have studied my share of evocation as well.
Okay, so I guess just spend some time studying it, or whatever. I can help. See if I can help you out. Two heads are better than one.
Great.
Guys, we're looking for a culprit. we can't do this on the night when we are about to rest. But
True, but if this is the thing that caused the explosion, then maybe figuring out what it is will help lead us to where it came from.
I think I could probably
maybe we should
do
spend
that.
the day looking more into this 500,000 dragons. You know, I'm not really that worried about 500 goals when we can get 500,000.
Who's all choppy?
I can potentially figure out what it is from studying it for just an hour. But I think that's all I'll need. If maybe we continue on, and if the opportunity presents itself for myself and Phoebus to kind of take our time with it, then maybe we can spend that hour studying it.
Sure, that makes sense.
So what are we doing? I'm quite confused.
Seems like people are impatient. They don't want us to spend the short rest identifying it, so we're going to keep on with the mission, and then when we find an
long rest, then you're gonna do. Got it. Great. Okay. All right. Although you could take a short rest while you search, but whatever. I'm not gonna tell them that. As you make your way through the city, just kind of traveling from ward to ward, eventually, like while you are still in the dock ward, you don't really, there's no movement coming from the nimble right detector. However, as you head into the north ward, the umbrella on the end slowly begins to spin.
Looks like it's detecting something, guys.
But how do we tell where?
Within 500 feet, just pick a direction.
Well, it can be from behind, so 500 feet on a semicircle.
But it wouldn't be from behind you because you came from that direction and it wasn't spinning then?
Yeah, that's what I tried to say.
Okay, let's head west.
So is this based on the assumption that we're holding the trigger down the entire time?
Yep. Someone's hand is going to cramp. Maybe you take turns.
We can just tie a rope around it.
Or you can be smart like that guy said.
Do we have like I don't know how Waterdeep is, but like a place where we can get view from like Eagle's Eye or something? A tower? Nope. A church? Okay.
Nope. So you guys just start walking through the North Ward. And as you walk, sometimes when you turn directions, the umbrella seems to begin to spin and click and whir somewhat faster. So that's basically how we navigate. We're holding this out in front of us, and as you walk, if it starts to slow down, you obviously change your direction. If it begins to speed up, then you know you're going in the right direction. That's right. Hotter, colder, right? Warmer. And eventually, after several more hours, and at this point, you've been traveling through the streets for most of the day, and the sun is getting ready to set. It's nearly dusk. You find yourself on Sardone Street in the North Ward. As you stand here, you see a very large building ahead of you. And you're not very familiar with this particular building or area, but thankfully there is a fence and a sign that denotes this place as the Growlhund Villa, home to a noble family of Waterdeep.
Is the thing spinning faster? Like close this house, villa, big thing?
Yes, that's why we are here.
Well, looks like the creature must be somewhere close to this house. So shall we Venture in or
into a noble's
look
house? Are you
around?
mad? No, we knock.
That's what I meant. Or shall we look around the house and see what we can see first?
I mean, that thing had intents of going out, right? If that's what caused the explosion, he went out to do it. We can just stay guard outside for some time.
Let me save you some trouble. You walk around the perimeter, and there's a high wall with no windows or other entrances other than the main gate.
Main gate it is?
Well, hold on. Let's take a look over the wall. Can someone boost me up?
Yes.
Lothar?
I guess I boost him up.
What do I see as I look over?
I'm just looking over the wall here. Hold on. I'll move you guys. I know vision is funky. This map is funky. But directly in front of you is the main gate. And Jerry, I put you on the other side. And if I'm correct, I believe you can't see anything because it's dark.
Oh, I would have lit a torch.
Missing a door by the stable. No,
Is it just
it's
Jerry
there.
that's on the map? Because I can't see anything either.
I can't see anything. I think we don't have dark vision. I would have lit a torch if it's at night.
You have dark vision. As soon as you said I'd light a torch, I added a torch.
I still can't see anything. It's all black.
Yeah, same.
The fuck?
Time to reload.
Sure, refreshing the page.
Ah! I realize it. Hold on. I had you guys on the wrong layer. Yuck.
This betrayal will not go unnoticed.
Well, when in doubt, blame Spartan. It's his fault. I don't know how or why, but it is.
Yeah, it's not
mine. What are
mine.
you talking about?
Finally, someone realizes it's not always the kobold's fault.
Alright, so Jerry, I'm going to put you on this side of the wall. We're going to give you a torch again, and there you go. That's what you see. Basically, on the other side of the gate, you just see the main road and grass and trees, because I don't believe your vision goes out much further than that.
Toot will cast light on one of his swords.
Okay. So, what are you guys doing? I'm gonna put you back on the other side of the gate since you've had your peek.
What did you see?
Jerry?
I can't. I still can't see anything. It's all black.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. I don't see anything.
Right.
Well, that's not useful.
Nothing at all?
I mean, there's like a tree, but there's no one guarding the place, which seems strange.
I don't know. I mean, they might not have guards around.
I mean, why would you
Might
have
just-
10-foot tall fences and no guards?
Because
Why
you
would
want to protect your
Because-
home.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 10-foot tall fences. You don't necessarily need guards, especially if there isn't a way in from the back.
I don't know how much you guys have been around Waterdeep, but it would take a madman to enter Noble's house.
This thing maybe goes out. We know it's here. We can just take guards and wait for it.
This thing killed many people. We have to go find it.
And we are going to find it, but we don't have a way to access.
I mean, we
If
haven't
you want
tried
to
the
ring the
front door
bell,
yet.
if
Ring
you
the
want
bell?
to ring,
Something that killed many people is in here, and we've been tasked with finding it. We want to alert it that it's here, that we're here,
and what do you suggest?
that we jump over the fence and find it. And Tuit's just gonna throw himself over the fence.
Well, that would be something that you could do, except you can't. At least not without making a roll. It would be a athletics check to try and climb the wall. Since it is, I know I said 10 earlier, but there was a misnomer. It's actually 12 feet. So without the aid of climbing gear, check.
Acrobatics work.
Sure, we'll take it.
Phoebus is going to start moving around towards the
insufficient.
Here, just boost me up, and then I can put a rope, and you guys can climb. It's not difficult.
As I ring the doorbell.
There's no doorbell. It's an outside gate. And also,
actually, can I try to open the lock before you?
That is also an idea. Yes, you could. You would need obviously a check with your thieves' tools. But as you pick up the padlock that closes the gate together, you see a purplish sheen on the lock itself.
I'll point that out to the party and say this doesn't seem right.
It's probably a magical ward to stop people from picking the lock. It is a noble's house after all, which means that people climbing over the fence, there might be wards on top of there as well.
Seeing it is nighttime, maybe we should wait until morning before just jumping into a noble's house.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Yeah,
I
where's your sense?
I have a sense of not dying, but
And when has anyone died in a noble's house?
I don't know about a sense. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, the way I see it, either this noble is harboring the creature that killed all those people, or it's here without his knowledge and he should be informed of it. So we need to either kill that thing or tell the noble that there's something incredibly dangerous hiding in his manor.
Well, I think that we should, at the very least, just see if we can get their attention. Go see if we can knock on the gate, get somebody come through, and we can try and talk to them. It might give us some information. They might not know that the creature's hiding out here.
Or maybe it's killing them all right now.
Or maybe it's killing them all right now.
Well,
I think we should at least try and do something rather than waiting for morning. If we can't gain access to the house or get any information by trying to speak to somebody, then maybe we'll wait.
Does this green stuff seem like magical?
Green
or purple stuff? Sorry.
Yeah, it does seem like there's something vaguely magical on the lock.
Well, do one of you want me to chuck you over the fence?
Yes, please.
Yeet!
It's still an athletics check.
And Darnock will knock on the gate really loudly.
So, so big, strong Lothar, he's gonna grab to it, and I'm gonna imagine it's like one hand at like the base of his neck, the other hand like holding on to the belt, and he goes to give him a good hee-ho and throw him over the fence, and instead he just kind of rams you right into the stone. Take 3 bludgeoning damage.
What are you doing? You're going to make them notice.
Well, we had a knock on the door somehow, right?
As you know, I would imagine that would make quite a bit of noise too. You know, sudden boom, and then to it going oh, and so after this happens, you hear a very strange noise, or I guess not strange, more I guess I should say a totally expected noise, because coming from out in the darkness beyond the fence, you hear bark, 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 bark. And there are several dogs now kind of scratching and leaping at the other side of the gate.
Oh, we have someone's attention.
They are making a ton of noise.
Does anyone seem to be coming after them?
Sure. There are lights on in the manor now.
Let's pass this as a fight between you two.
Bark, 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 bark.
Let's move around to the other side of the. Let's not get that with this.
Well, we were trying to get their attentions to get in. Isn't this the perfect opportunity now?
That's your plan, but okay.
Hear a voice shout from the other side of the wall. Who goes there? Vacate the premises immediately!
Sorry to disturb you, sir, but we have reason to believe that there may be something dangerous behind your wall. That might not have been the best thing to say.
Something dangerous? What are you on about?
May we have a moment of your time, sir?
You already do! Explain yourselves immediately or I will call the guard!
Do you know of a nimble rat in the area? We've tracked one over to that appears to be behind these walls.
I knew that's what they're going to say. No response comes from the other side of the wall.
Oh, does he not? Has he not come out of the house?
No. You don't know if anybody's come out of the house or not. You just hear a voice from the other side of the wall, but they never open the gate. You can't see the person who's talking. Even if you hoist somebody up and look over, like it's dark, and wherever they are, they're still either hiding behind something, or they're cloaked in shadow.
Please allow us to speak to you. The whatever it is could be quite dangerous, as we said. We wouldn't want anybody else to get hurt.
You notice something strange. Not only has the man stopped replying to you, the dogs have stopped barking. And all at once you hear a low growl. It almost seems to reverberate from the ground underneath your feet. And before you know it, 3 shapeless, almost beings completely devoid of light and form kind of surge over the wall and pool in the ground around your feet. Everyone roll initiative. For the curious, that black line is the gate that we can't get through. I can close that. I can close that. Open the turn order.
Now that I remember, Druid has an owl with like night vision and stuff that can fly.
Yeah, that might have been useful. Is the owl going in the turn order?
What do you prefer? I mean, I could just have it on my turn if it's easier.
Well.
Fair enough.
Oh, no. A tie between me and the PC? I wonder who will go first. It's me. I'm going first. And then, to it. You and the owl are both at 4. Do you want to go first, or do you want the owl to go first?
The owl.
Okie dokie. Alright, so these creatures kind of surge over the wall, right? And then they kind of just get right up in your face. And as they do, they kind of reach out with these black, arms, and you can see smoky tendrils. And I guess smoke is the wrong word because it's not smoke, it's not ethereal. It's just it's almost like the absence of light as this black reaches out towards you with a vaguely humanoid shape. And we are going to attack Phoebus, Lothar, and Darnok in that order. So Phoebus, Lothar, Darnok. My attacks suck. All right.
Thank God.
You managed to.
So fortunate.
You managed to avoid the creature's grasp, but you are shocked nonetheless. Phoebus, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, so Phoebus is going to take a step to his
sucked.
left, and he ushers a word "burn" in Celestial.
Boo!
As he uses
radiant damage. Boo!
And that's going to be against the 2 shadows adjacent to him.
1 fail, 1 pass.
Okay. That will end his turn.
Jerry.
I will.
Oh my God! What's wrong with you, Toronto?
Back 30 feet and shoot the one that's been hit before. I don't think any of them have been. Just one of them with the long.
Okay. That is a hit. 8, 9.
9 damage. End of turn.
But nope.
Okay, I'm going to take a step to the side and stab twice.
Both attacks are gonna hit. 5, 6. And then...
And that's my turn.
1. Darnok? What's up, DV8?
Alright, Darnok's going to cast Mage Armor.
Mage Armor on yourself, okay.
Do I need to make a roll?
For Mage Armor? No.
No, not Mage Armor.
Oh. Yes, of course! I saw the 1 and I got excited.
Alright, that's my turn.
Lothar.
Spooky ghost! As I hit him with my maul, the one to my left.
Sure. That's a hit. 6. The first of the shadows just kind of dissipates, and the blackness of its shadow melds in with the darkness all around you. Doop. Finished?
That'll do her.
Owly McOwlface.
Owly's gonna fly by the one right here and help me.
Okay, so then it'll be your turn, and then you have advantage.
Yep. And I am going to green flame blade.
Flame.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oops. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
All right, 16 is a hit for 5 piercing.
And then 3 to the guy next to him.
Okay. But it didn't roll any dice. Is the 3 is fire, right? All right.
Yes.
So 2, 3. Got it. Okay. It's a Shadow's turn. And this first one here is going to turn and it's going to attack Lothar. And it's going to attack Lothar. And as it does, it's going to say, courtesy of the Monday game. As it strikes you with a nat 20. Oh shit, it actually is a nat 20.
Oh god.
That means I still have one hanging. Woo! So, Lothar, take 18 necrotic, please. And your strength score is reduced by 2. The second shadow is going to... Oh, God. What did I just say? It's gonna reach out and it's gonna give Van Eld no, it's not. It's gonna take a... It's just gonna walk right here. Van Eld, you can take a leaving engagement strike.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a good hit. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 would be 6. All right, that's actually going to kill it. You are so lucky, gosh. Lothar. You are so lucky.
I make my own muck.
All right, Phoebus, you are up.
All right. So Phoebus is just going to call down a bolt of radiant energy on top of the remaining creature.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I guess not. That will end his turn.
Jerry.
Take a shot at the last one, I guess.
Yeah, it's a hit.
End of turn.
But no.
I'm gonna stab it again, I guess. Today is a good day for stabbing. No, today is not a good day for stabbing. And my offhand.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't think that makes it either. And that's my turn.
Darnock.
Cast Frostbite on it.
Okay, it takes the cold damage, but it doesn't seem to really even notice that you've hit it.
All right, that's his turn.
Lothar.
Well, seeing that I just got hit and there's a spooky ghost in front of me, I want it to get away from me as fast as possible, so I recklessly hit him with my maul.
It's a good idea, Doug. You want to just roll it again, see if maybe you crit. Otherwise, it's just 9 damage. Alright, still 9 damage.
Uh, 7 damage, I'm not raging.
Oh, right. The owl.
Fly by and back.
Sure.
And help me. And 2 rapier attacks. First with advantage.
Hit. Okay.
Second one normal.
Hit. Okay, and that's a dead shadow. Alright, back to the main map.
Phoebus will move over to Lothar and just sort of gently place his hand on his shoulder as he channels some magical energy into him to heal his wound.
I think it's time we dispose of the pleasantries, gentlemen. And
well, I mean, after some crazy stuff just jumped over the fence, yeah, let's go. Let's break that thing.
Just let jump over it. Don't break it again, please. Walls are not meant to be break like that.
Tuat's going to try and nimbly hop on top of the fence again.
Second attack. Second attempt at nimbly bimbliness. Alright, go for it. Hey, Tuat makes it over the fence.
I'll put my hands like for them to step in to make them easier to pass and wait for me to cross last.
I'll throw a rope over and tug on it.
Alright, so we're going to view either of those as taking the help action for anybody else's roll, but need to make a roll to cross over the fence. Darnock can't quite seem to get up there. Neither can Lothar. He's just too heavy.
Okay. Phoebus. Phoebus is going to use his flexible casting to turn one of his his 2 sorcery points into a level 1 spell slot.
Okay.
Lothar, you want to lift me up? I can tie a rope to a tree and then you could climb it.
Yeah, give me a second. I had to reload.
There's a rope in front of you.
Guys, come
on. I offer myself to help Jerry, I guess. Then we can make the cow pass to the other side. And now it's me. Do I get advantage because of the rope?
Yep.
And now we try to make the cow pass to the other side. It's going to be quite the challenge.
Probably not.
Why don't we all just grab the rope and pull him over?
While everyone's climbing, kind of like listen to see like what sounds are coming from.
I'll help to it to like try to hold the
Lothar, he says, to hell with your rope, and he just runs and jumps across the fence.
Hey buddy, you didn't break the wall this time. Nicely done.
Alright, do you hear guards? No. Not from this distance. Because from where you stand, it's like 50 feet to the main house, and then you can see there's what looks to be like maybe a stable house even further off in the yard. Through the trees, you can see a large balcony enclosed by an iron railing high above the entrance. It's 20 feet above ground level, and you can't see anything through any of the windows at this distance.
I think we should go to the main house. The guard dogs came out and there was nothing, and then all of a sudden they were silenced by those things that attacked us. I think something terribly wrong is going.
Or maybe the guard dogs and the man talking were an illusion to try and make us go away. Once we told them what we were after, the shadows came and attacked, so it could just be a ruse.
I mean, shadows attacking, those things seem like they're undead, which doesn't seem like something that would be in the city. I think we need to go to the house immediately.
Sure.
I concur.
Phoebus begins moving further in.
I'll stealthily try to open up the door and listen in.
Okay. Listening to the door, you don't hear anything. And then you slowly pull the door open. Oh man, I have to. And you see this one-story stone building here is attached to the mansion and serves as quarters for what you can only assume to be a large number of guards. The main room contains 10 bunk beds, each with a pair of footlockers at the end.
And are there any guards inside?
The room is empty.
I'll put my hands up to my lips to kind of say, be quiet, and then continue like in and motion for them to follow.
I glare like really hard at Lothar as he says, be quiet. Like the hardest glare he's ever had.
Excuse me, I'm a very stealthy Minotaur.
I know you're not, that's why...
No, I am.
Make an effort.
Okay, as you move through the barracks, you find another door on the far end of the hall. Ooh, let me fix that. Restrict movement.
Can you open it?
Do you hear guards? You have to say it. I don't pay attention to the chat. No, you don't hear guards.
All right, I will open it up and look through. What do I see?
It looks like another part of the courtyard here. Another door immediately to the west, and you can see another building off maybe 30 feet to the east.
Let's open the closed door.
Does the door that I'm stood in front of lead into the main building?
No.
Okay.
You see empty mannequins and other things. It looks like some sort of armory.
Okay. I'll move out to join the rest of the group.
Can Owly McAllowface get a bird's eye view of the compound? If I look through Owly McAllowface's eyes.
You're going to get the same description as before. All of the windows are shuttered or closed, so you cannot actually see into the building through any of the windows.
Okay.
Okay, opening that door, Jerry. You see an unlocked wooden door here leads from the yard into the mansion's kitchen, which is stocked with cookware and utensils, and there's a large fireplace here used for cooking meals. As you open this door, you can hear muffled voices coming from further within the building.
I'll point towards them and move forward. Does anything seem like incredibly valuable in the kitchen?
No, none of the cookware is expensive. It's in good condition and of fine quality, but you don't think it'd be worth carrying or worth selling.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll move forward and go to the next door and wait for everyone to come in quietly, and then open.
Okay, it looks to be a pantry containing dry foodstuffs, spices, folded tablecloths, and preserves. And as you walk in, you see there are two dead servant corpses here. And an older human male with that seems to have several large bleeding wounds that are still very fresh, and a younger male halfling.
Looks fresh. Looks like we've got company in the house.
How is the
Alright.
thing doing? The umbrella thing. I look at whoever has it.
Are you wait? We're still carrying that in through the courtyard.
Not if it's making noise.
It is making noise. Remember, the umbrella spins and it clicks and whirs. At this point, when you were outside the villa, it was moving quite fast, and it made a distinctly audible hum. So let me ask you again: are you still holding that thing?
No.
I didn't think so.
I listen into this door.
You don't hear anything. You knew that you heard voices earlier, but now it's quiet.
And that's coming through that door. Do we have?
You didn't know where. You walked into this room. You heard muffled voices, and then in the span of time it took you to move from here to here, it's quiet again.
I'm gonna go ahead and hold my action to charge.
You can't hold actions outside of combat.
He's correct.
I'll listen to this door. Do I hear anything on the other side?
No, I just said. No. You know, again, there was some muffled voices, but now it's eerily quiet. Third time.
Are there any sort of keyholes or gaps in the door that we could maybe peek through? Maybe open this door that I'm next to here.
Oh, we'll just open it up.
I mean, if there aren't, then yeah, we'll.
Doesn't matter.
Very quietly try
So while you're investigating the door over there, Jerry opens the door here to the south, and as you do, you see the floor is strewn with bodies, and there are two thugs holding bloody maces that are still dripping, standing over them. And as they turn and look at you, you can hear from further in the house sounds of combat now are wafting through the open door. And you can see that that they look at you and they snarl, "Ha! The noble servants are here! Kill them all!" as they raise their weapons. Everybody in the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Vaneld. So you hear this guy kind of shout. What would you like to do? As you are first in combat.
I'd like to. I'll try to get a good angle whenever. Oh, I see it from here. I'm going to hold my action to attack him if any of my comrades do with my short bow.
Jerry?
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at the closest guy and then move back some.
Alright, Vanel, make your attack as well.
Sorry, it should be the short bow, not the rapier. You can take the roll if you want. It's the same mod.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just make the damage for the bow. Nine, 15. Without sneak attack, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be sneak
Okay,
unless
cool.
there's someone next to it, which I don't believe there is.
Nope. Lothar.
I shout out, "You had slaughtered innocents, you shall pay," as I go into
So 12?
Yeah, I wasn't recklessing.
Alright, it's still a hit. And finished. Darnock.
I'll take that dodge action because I can't say anything else.
Okay. So, it's the thug's turn now, right? And I don't think any of you can see the second guy because he was outside of the light from Jerry's torch. But he steps in and he kind of like hops up on the table as he raises his mace, about to bash. As he's about to bash Lothar, and unmistakable now as you see the two of them together. They wear all black leather armor, and you can see the markings of the Zentarum. Oh, I thought I just had the damn sheet open, but I guess not. And obviously all attacks on Lothar because he's the only one that's here. Oh, it went whispered. Don't whisper me that. Toggle. Toggle. Honorable damage. There we go. Alright, first attack is a miss. Second attack is a miss. Third attack boops you for 6. And fourth attack boops you for 8. And do it.
It's gonna run on in and take some attacks with his rapier.
Okay. Ooh, yep, he's dead.
And that's it.
Phoebus.
Okay, Phoebus is going to move first. He's going to move down to there. You can see this thug here. And so he's going to use Sacred Flame.
Boo! Yep, that's it.
Okay, that will end his turn.
Owly McOwl face.
Fly by and help Lothar.
Wait, why are there 2 owls?
Yeah, I dropped one because one got stuck on top of me, so just so I could put him in the tracker. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Alright, so help Lothar and then Vanel.
Okay, I can see him from here, and I'm going to shoot my bow.
Miss.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Jerry. Yep.
No crit damage, so
Okay, finished.
yes, end of turn.
Lothar.
I'm gonna hit him with my maul and then shove him with my.
That's miss.
He has advantage because of the owl, right?
Oh, he does. He does. So that is not a miss. That is a hit.
I did it right this time, Daddy. Jeez.
I can't see if it's actually rolled with advantage or not. I just take the correct number. Okay. And you're gonna take the shove action, you said?
Yeah, with my hammering horns.
Okay. I have to make another roll. Why are you? makes a strength save, 8 plus proficiency strength. What's your strength modifier right now?
19 after that ghost hit.
There we go. Okay. So wait, that your modifier.
It's +4.
+4.
Well, super failed. So it's pushed 10 feet away from you. That was like way more than 10 feet. There we go. Okay, Lothar's done. Darnock!
And stab it with, nope, wrong person. Shoot the thug with the crossbow.
Nope.
And done.
So the thug will take its turn now. It's just going to charge. Oh man. But it's just going to charge here and attack to it. Bash, bash. I'm guessing both miss. And then to it.
Yep. I'll stab him back.
Yep, that's a dead thug. Alright, so looking around this dining hall now, you can see that the floor is just covered with bodies. And as you look around, you can see that 8 of the bodies are guards wearing the bloody and tattered House Growlhund livery that is also seen decorated on the walls around the chamber. You also see that there are... I lost my place. I'm sorry. You also see there are 2 dead Zents in black leather armor. All of the people here are humans.
Well, now we pull out the umbrella.
I believe you mentioned that we heard more sounds of combat coming from further inside.
I did indeed, actually. It sounds like it's coming from up here and around the corner, but it's still even further away. I don't know.
Let's move. See if we can at least save somebody, and maybe try and take somebody for questioning.
Stairs! It sounds like the combat is coming from up the stairs. Once you guys are all grouped together, or, I mean, if you guys want to go up the stairs, I'll move those of you who want to go. But the sounds, standing here at the base of the stairs, it sounds like there was a great battle unfolding right at the top of the stairs.
I'm going on top, just behind Lothar.
Yep. Phoebus will move up behind them as well.
Yep, going up the stairs.
What about Jerry? Are you...
I'm going up with them.
Please move back where I placed you. Alright, so as you walk up, there is a lot happening here as you go up the stairs. There's a battle raging here between several more of those Zentarums that you had seen downstairs and the house guards. And the floor is covered with dead bodies. Further down behind this battle, you see doors to the master bedroom currently open. Let me make sure that... There we go. Open. And I know most of you can't see it from your current vantage point, but I'm just going to tell it to you and then we'll move forward. You see a woman. She's standing here watching all this carnage unfold, and she shouts from the room beyond, "The city guard is on their way!" And yeah, that's it. Roll initiative. Okay, Vanel, you are first in the turn order.
For like third time in a row. I'm just moving myself so I can see what's happening. I'm going to go to a corner and hold my action again with my short bow to shoot whenever someone comes close. My allies to them, I mean.
Jerry?
I'm going to move forward. Am I in this guy's threatened square now?
Yeah. You would be adjacent, but he doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you at all. You're standing at his back, and he's currently in combat.
Sure, I'm gonna move over here and then shoot him in the back if he looks like he has the same Zentarum stuff.
Yep, he does.
And that'll miss. End of turn.
Tarnak.
Alright, so run up and stab him with a dagger.
My ready action.
Sure. That guy will have half cover from you since you're kind of around the end there. Doesn't matter, that's still a hit. From both of you.
And I'm done.
Okay. The veterans, the guardsmen here that seem to be fighting against the Zent, that's what they look like. They will take their turn now, attacking the Zentarum. Oh, shit, man, they suck. For 13. And then miss, hit for 10. And then this one here. Hit for 10. And then out of nowhere, you hear a twang of a crossbow bolt as a bolt flies out from this veteran in the back towards Jerry. 16 versus AC. Hit for 5.
I believe that hits.
Yep.
My AC is 15.
Hit for 5.
Great.
After they take their turn, the thugs will get to respond. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then you hear two other things. Again, a woman shouting from the room to the east, "The City Watch are coming!" And then from the door to the south, you can hear a banging noise as someone, it sounds like, is trying to kick in a door or I don't know. It sounds like the sound of like wood being struck. And Phoebus.
Okay, so Phoebus is going to try and move so he can try and see what's going on. So getting over to here, he can see a little bit more, and he'll call out to the guards. He'll say, "Guards of the household, we're here to help. We're on your side. Please,
big persuasion
don't
check.
attack us." I don't have advantage, and that's a terrible roll. So it's an 8.
More Zentarum tricks!
Is that my action?
Nah. You sucked at it, so just go ahead and take an action.
So let's see, 5, 10. No, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. Yeah, so I'll go over here and I will use Sacred Flame on this guy. Okay.
Lothar.
I'm gonna move over there and bash his Zentarum with my maul. And as I'm bashing him, I'm going to say, "We're here to help."
Roll it. Yeah, it's it. Do it.
Dude's gonna move over there. Actually, he's going to move over here and take some shots. First at the one in the middle.
Okay, the first of the Zents is dead.
Then the one to his right. And that's his turn.
Oh no. It's miss. Okay, and the owl?
He's going to help Jerry with or whatever. Fly by this guy and help Jerry.
Alright, you see a half-orc heavily armed blocks the door here. He points to the door to the south. You must stop him! He's trying to capture Lord Growlhund! And as he points to the door below to it. Vaneld?
I'll say understood and take my cunning action to dash like here. Can I open the door?
Yeah?
Okay, I open the door and try to cross it. It's kind of locked.
Opening the door, you see a man standing on the other side, and as you open the door, it seems he is also successful in kicking open the door in front of him. As you look at him, you notice that this man is badly burned on one half of his face, and that there is it seems like there's charred remnants on his coat.
I'm going to look at the half-orc and ask, is the bad guy the one that's burned?
Hey, you need to keep moving. You can't stop on that square.
Sure, but I'm still screaming that.
10, 15.
No response.
Well, no, it's not his turn. Jerry?
Wait, I still have my action.
Do you though?
I will take a shot.
A shot at who?
Well, does he not have an action? Oh, action was up there. Okay, I'll take a shot at the burned-looking man, assuming that's not a noble-looking person.
No, he doesn't look noble at all.
17 with advantage from the owl helping.
Yeah, it's a hit.
7. End of turn.
I have to put that guy in the tracker now. Alright, Darnock.
Go ahead and stab the guard in front of me. Or sorry, thug.
Yeah, it's a hit.
Alright, and that's his turn.
So the veterans at this point, they kind of just start swarming the remaining thug, and the ones in the back, they pull out their heavy crossbows, and you can see the man shouting, "Give up, Erstul! You are outnumbered!" And if I could find the damn sheet. There it is. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, hit. Yeah, the last thug goes down easily. Phoebus.
Alright, Phoebus is going to move. So that should take him to 30 feet, moving through Vanel's space. And he says another word in Celestial as a bright, dazzling light shoots out in a cone. I'll get the area effect. As he uses this.
So that would affect just him?
Yeah, the intention is to get it so it just affects him.
Okay, you have to roll your 60-10.
Yep.
That is not enough to effectively blind him.
Oh, okay. That's a shame. Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Lothar?
I'm gonna run down here and grapple this nerd.
Where were you before? 10, 15. Okay, you're good. You're good. Yeah, go ahead and try to grapple. He is going to contest. And hold on.
Oh, I'm raging. I have advantage.
I'll roll it again. Alright, you have him grappled. Finish to it. What are you doing?
Tasha's on Two-Face. DC 13.
Now he is grappled and incapacitated.
That's it. And then, sorry, his turn.
End of his turn. Repeats the, was it wisdom save for the hideous laughter? And he's broken free from the hideous laughter, but he is still being grappled because he couldn't use his action to escape. Ow. Fuck that out. Vaneld.
Okay, I'm going to move. Can I move here? Is there like enough space? There's like something here.
What do you... No, you can move there.
Okay. And I'm going to say, we have him, come. Come. And that's my turn.
Oh.
There's cards.
Jerry?
Does 11 hit?
Nope.
Alright, move over here, bonus action, hide, end of turn.
Jerry? Or
Can you
Darnock?
hello?
Darnock's gonna cast Chaos Bolt at him.
Yeah, it's a hit.
So 14 acid.
Sure. The veterans kind of swarm in, and they're gonna do what none of you thought to, and restrain him. They start tying him up so that he can no longer escape, and then that'll be effectively be the end of combat. Unless you guys want to keep killing him. I mean,
no. If anybody tries, Phoebus tries to interject and say, "No, keep him alive. We can question him."
No, no, you have to let me go.
We have to. No,
Yes, I'll tell you everything. Just you have to let me go. And as he's saying this, you see the man that was in the room beyond, noble-looking fella. He walks up and he's like, "House guards, surround this man, escort him away." And the man you guys just helped restrain, he starts shouting, "No! They'll kill me to silence me! Don't let them take me!"
Hold on, let's get the information out of him before we send him.
The woman kind of steps up and she starts shouting too. "I don't know who any of you are, but I do know that you are trespassing on noble property. You will also have to answer to the city watch when they get here as well. Unhand our prisoner."
You what? Did we not just save your life?
You see the veterans start surrounding you with their swords out now. The man starts talking again. "I ask you to recognize where you currently stand. This is House Growlhund. You are in my family estate. You are to recognize my sovereignty here and unhand this scoundrel."
We're here on order of the City Watch.
Then show me your badge. Show me that you are indeed one of the City Watch.
See, that's the thing. He killed 10 people and robbed us blind, so we're here to take
See,
him
that's
in.
the thing. Without the proper documentation, I think that you are a liar. Veterans, escort these men off of my premises immediately. And they're coming closer with the swords. They're gonna start getting pokey.
Yep. I'll ask as they're approaching. Does anybody know anything about a nimble ride that might have been here recently?
Oh yes, someone should grab that before we're here.
If
you don't want us to make sure you're not going to be killed,
the woman waves her hand. "All of you, silence! Get out of my house, trespassers!" And then Two-Face here on the ground starts shouting, "They know! They know! Don't let them silence me!"
That's pretty reasonable.
I didn't hear what anybody said then.
As they are pushing us away, I'm going to try to say that they might want to contact a church to get rid of the shadows that are haunting your house and just get poked away by the guards.
What?
The shadows that we found outside the house.
Again, trying to bring up anything other than you getting the hell out of here, they start barking more commands. "Get out of my house!"
Yeah, I say that as I'm getting poked away by the guards.
Yeah, they're not interested in talking with you guys. Obviously.
Yep. As I'm kind of moving away, I'll look to the man who's restrained. Say, "Do you know about the nimble right?"
I do. I do.
Okay.
Darnak, are you using the detector?
Yeah, I want to pull out the detector and use it to see what it does.
There's no longer any hint that the creature is still in the house.
Looks like it's moved on, guys. Maybe we should too.
What the fuck?
Is there a window near me?
Near you? No.
Well darn.
All right. Yep. Phoebus is going to turn to, I guess, face these guards. I guess here. Bang his staff on the ground once and suddenly burst out into radiant light in a cone.
Yeah, you can do that. And then everybody re-roll initiative. Looks like we're going back in, boys. All right, and then roll the dice for your prismatic. What is it? Prismatic spray? Is that what we're doing?
Color spray.
Oh, that's right. It's not prismatic spray anymore. $36. Oh man, so shitty for you. Sure. We'll say this guy right here, and then you see the girl in the back kind of throws her hands up in front of her eyes.
Okay.
And these things are not important.
Lothar, grab him and let's go.
That was the plan.
Phoebus, it looks like you actually get to go first in combat. Which is kind of what you did. I mean, but go ahead.
Okay. Phoebus is just gonna shift to here, and he's gonna do it again and try and get the other.
26. Oh, bad news, friendo. That's not enough to affect anybody.
That's not good. All right. Yep. Phoebus is gonna move.
Go ahead. You can move. Yes, move. Please.
Yeah, he does.
Bam, bam, bam. Ah, damn it. It whispered 18 on one, 14 on the other.
Yep.
Total of 20.
Okay, well, I've got 11 hit points, so
second hit makes you go down. Got it. Let me make this public. Yeah. All right, there we go. Darnak.
All right. Going to go ahead and cast Frostbite on the closest guard that's not blind. So this one.
Yeah, he takes it.
All right, and then I'm going to back away from the blind one and make my way down the stairs.
Okay. This guy is going to run in I'll walk right over here. And he's probably gonna butter to its bread. Miss?
It's a 16, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's your AC. Yep, take it. Take 11.
Hold on, how's that? Shield.
Okay. I'm still gonna try to... How does 28 do? Dude, does that one, does that get you?
28 misses. AC's 31.
Oh, okay.
22, right?
Yep. Woot. Retreat!
He's going to go fly into this guy's face and help Lothar with a big bad guy or something like that.
Cool. Veterans are gonna take their turn. Let me see here. This one's gonna run right up there. Jerry is hiding. So instead he's gonna run down after Darnock. And this one's gonna run in, and the two of them are gonna beat up Lothar. This is Lothar first. Looks like 17 hits for 11. No, you would still be raging. And a hit for 4. And oh, yep. Good night, sweet prince. And then the other one up here going to attack Darnock. Yep. Yep, he gives you a stabity twice.
Still standing.
To it. Death save? Jerry, you're still hidden.
Alright, great. I'm just gonna... Is there like a window up there, or am I gonna have to run down to the...
There's a door there.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna dash down the stairs, bonus action dash, and run away valiantly.
Okay. Lothar, death save. Oh, you're not dead. Wait, you should be. What the hell?
Yeah.
Get out of
I'm gonna
here.
get rid of these saves that I already had on here. I can't seem to get...
So you need me to roll a death save for you? That would be one of... There you go. Oh, you double... What is wrong with you? Alright, 16. Pass. Great. Good. Got it. Vanel.
I'm sorry for this, lady. I'm going to step in if you want to give me an attack of opportunity, and I want to make like a strength contest against this guy to like occupy his space. I want to like push him out.
You want to shove? First,
I guess so.
Yeah.
I
If you want to push him, it's a shove action.
I want to move through him. That's like my objective.
That is not something you can do. If you want to move through him, you gotta push him out of the way.
Push him and... Yeah, you do that.
That's a say. It doesn't matter. I'm sure. Okay.
Okay, where's
he's
the...
gonna just be patient.
Oh, sorry.
He fails, so you push him back 10 feet.
Where's the woman?
In the opposite room behind you.
Oh, I grab him, sword to his neck, and I scream, "Arms down or your lord is dead."
He laughs at you. Ha! You're outnumbered. You wouldn't dare. Not only would you quickly be overtaken and killed yourself, but then you would have no further leverage. I suggest you drop your arms instead.
That is nothing compared to save my
All
friends.
right, Phoebus, death save. Darnock?
Alright, so I'm going to use Tides of Chaos, and then Chaos Bolt the guard in front of me.
So, normal attack?
Yep.
Also...
yeah, 15 fire.
15 damage. Alright, he's taking it. This guy comes charging in, right? And he does not like you threatening his master. So he's going to try and get you twice, Vaneld. 13 misses. 24 does not. Take 14. The veterans take their turn. 2 here run forward to attack Vaneld. Vaneld is unconscious. Attacking Darnock. Darnock is unconscious. Okay. And Jerry is able to witness all of this, right?
Well, I pushed away.
Oh, that's right. You're down the stairs. All right. Well, then Darnock, I guess since you're the last to fall, you will be the witness. As you fall, you kind of smash into the ground, and your vision's starting to get hazy as you begin to drift into unconsciousness. But you can hear the man barking out directions. Tie them up. We'll decide what to do with them later. And then you can see him. The veterans all kind of spring into action as they bind and gag everybody, including the burnt man. And that's gonna be it for today. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the session, make sure you hit that follow button. If you want to find out what happens, join us next week, and we'll see what happens. If you enjoyed the stream, like I said, hit the follow button. Check out that schedule so you can see when we come back, and I'll see you guys next time.